Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ana Fernandez, and I am a Certificates Administrator in the Procedures Office. Today, I will guide you step by step through the process on how to complete the online form for requesting certificates of medicinal products using the Certificates Processing System. Certificates can be ordered by marketing authorization holders themselves or by requesting companies on behalf of the marketing authorization holder. Note that the documents published on the Certification of Medicinal Products webpage have been updated accordingly to reflect the changes. All the necessary instructions regarding how to register and how to gain access to the new system can be found there, including a video tutorial on how to use the certificate processing system. In order to access the CPS application, you first need to have an active EMA user account, which you can create by registering in the EMA's account management portal. There are links available to instructions on how to register on our website. Once registered, you can request the affiliation to the organization holding the marketing authorization of the medicinal product and also the appropriate user access role. Use your EMA account credentials to log into the application. After you have successfully passed the sign-in step, you will be prompted to fill in the customer account number, also known as the SAP number or the SAP ID. It is important to notice that the customer account number used must belong to the marketing authorization holder of the medicinal products requested. Entering a different customer account number will result in your application being rejected. Once login is successful, you can start filling in the form. All the fields with an asterisk are mandatory. In the company information section, type in the relevant details of the marketing authorization holder, such as company name, address, postcode, and country. Next, fill in the contact person details, such as first name and last name, then the telephone number, including the country code, and regarding the contact email, please note that this is the email address that will be used for all the correspondence and for sending the electronic certificates to. If you are a requesting company, that is that your name and/or your address is different from the MAH's, and you are ordering certificates on behalf of the MAH, tick in the box, "Are you a requesting company?" and fill in the company's details. Only tick in the box labeled Certify Requesting Company if you would like to have the requesting company mentioned in the certificate itself. Select here whether the application has been submitted via the centralized procedure or under Article 58 regulation. Then confirm the GMP compliance status and indicate if the products are free from reported hazards. In the product information section, enter the trade name of the medicinal product and the pharmaceutical form. Fill in the trade name in the importing country only if applicable. And bear in mind that the purpose of the trade name in the importing country is for the applicant to be able to communicate the intention of a different name from the centrally authorized one. If the product is authorized under Article 58 regulation, please also tick in this box. Next, add the details about the manufacturing site. Type the name of the site and provide the full address. Select the activities performed at this site and make sure that you have selected at least one of the activities. It's only mandatory to include at least one manufacturer of the full finished product. If you need to add more sites, click on the Add a New Site button and repeat the process. You can always delete the last added site with the Remove the Last Site button. In the Certificate Information section, select the importing country. Enter the marketing authorization number of the product. This field represents one certificate, and within each certificate, we can only issue for either a single presentation or full pharmaceutical form. Select the applicable EU languages and specify which annexes are needed in addition to the SPC. Note that if you select None, only the SPC will be attached to the certificate. Choose Yes or No for product availability in the EU market. If you would like to order more than one certificate, please click on Add a new certificate. And if you're applying for more than one product, please click on Add a new product. Note, however, that you can only apply for several products as long as they belong to the same MAH. In the Additional Documents section, upload any supporting documents in the formats of PDF and Docs. Click on the Choose Files button and select the documents in the browser to upload them. For multiple upload, it's needed to select the documents in one go. In your message section, add any additional comments that you may have. For example, if in the annexes that you would like to have full SPC attached or specific presentation instead as a relevant example. Click on Continue. And at the top of the screen, you'll see the customer number that you used for signing in, which is populated automatically. Next, choose the priority of your requests, either urgent or standard. In the number of certificates field, you will see how many certificates you are requesting. The request fee is related to the number of certificates and the urgency of your request, and it will be populated automatically. If the MAH has a valid SME status, the displayed fee will not be applicable. It is possible to add a purchase order number or reference that will be included on the invoice. When all the fields are filled out, double-check your information to ensure accuracy. Once a request is submitted, it cannot be amended as the submission is finalized. When you are ready, confirm by clicking on the checkbox. Finally, click on Submit Your Request button to submit the form. The option to download the form as a document is currently being developed, and we hope to implement it soon. However, we do not have a date as yet. Now you have successfully submitted the form. Wait for the submission acknowledgement email that will arrive shortly. After that, you will get a notification informing you that the invoice has been created. The invoice will be sent to the customer of the organization on behalf of which you have logged into the CPS web application. Once the invoice is paid and confirmed by the agency's finance department, you will receive a confirmation email with a unique request number, which means that your request has been released for processing. The procedure starts the next working day. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Anna, and I'll continue from here, maybe from the point you just mentioned. So the slides shows really the three pillars about how the finance process works: receiving an invoice, paying an invoice, and handling exceptions. And perhaps here I would reiterate also the points that we've made in the past. So first of all, I would like to thank everyone for following the guidance and in processing the payments. That really helps a lot us to achieve a very high rate of automatic allocation of the payments we've received against the invoice, and therefore the pushing of the system message that the request has been paid. And therefore it is very important, this is why it is very important to quote the reference in the bank transfer or to provide the accounts receivable team with a remittance advice detailing which invoices have been paid. So we are able, as I said, to do that most of the time. So the allocation rate is very high. In some cases, we still have to do manual intervention. That basically means that we would contact you to ask you to confirm which are the invoices that you intend to pay. So, and with that, I also take the opportunity here to reiterate another message that it's very important that the financial contact details that we have on file are up to date, so that we kind of have this exchange and the resolution of the allocation resolved as quick as possible. So that is obviously a top priority for us as well, to make sure that the system flows smoothly. I also would like to remember, yes, that invoices are cancelled after 30 days from after 30 days that they have been issued. And therefore, that's why it is encouraged to have a quick resolution of the allocation, also to avoid that we incur into cancellation while we are waiting for a remittance advice from you. As I said, it is working very well in the majority of the cases. We still have some cases where some manual intervention is required, which is dealt with priority. And obviously, this is another message that I'm sending across to continue quoting or sending a remittance advice. That helps a lot with the smoothness of the processing afterwards. Yeah. Perhaps I'll stop here, Valeria, so that we can allow enough time for questions and answers. And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, both. We do have a couple of questions. So the first one is about some delays that there have been recently in issuing certificates. Maybe Virginia, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I can take that one. Thank you, Valeria. Well, we have a target of 10 working days for the standards. The 10 working days start after the day our finance department confirms that the payment has been made. So it's not the time of submission when you need to start counting. And the 10 days are a target, are an internal target. So in times like now, February, March, that's been extremely busy with a huge number of requests, it may take more than 10 days. So please, if possible, avoid sending emails to us on day 11, where is my certificate? Because it's the same people that are processing certificates that need to respond to the queries. So we are processing as fast as we can, but we have high volumes and it may take a bit longer than the normal 10 days. But those 10 days are not a legal deadline, it's just an internal target. So I would just, appreciate your understanding on that, and please don't just start sending us emails, because then we need the time to reply those emails that we could use also for processing. So it'd be appreciated if you have a bit of patience.
Okay, thanks, Virginia. So we have another question about whether it is possible to cancel requests after the payment has been made. And Paola, maybe you can comment on that.
Yes, I'm happy to step in here. So this I would refer also to our question and answers document. This is specifically 6.2.4. I mean, it is possible to cancel in the sense that one would withdraw the request, and I believe that it's possible to communicate that to the team. However, if the payment has been received, the payment will not be returned. Yeah, so this is the way we have also outlined this in the Q&A document. So I don't know if there is anything that anyone from the CPS team wants to add. Otherwise, we can always provide more elaborated answer in writing later on. So,
okay, thank you, Paola.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the next one. So, is there any way to track the status of requests after submitting via the system? Maybe Virginia. I mean, we've touched on this also in a previous session, but briefly.
Yes, I think it's also in the questions and answer, but so the short answer is no. Right now, the system does not have that capability, but we take note of the suggestion for future improvements.
Indeed, thank you. And again, I think on this next question is what Anna confirmed earlier. So it is not possible to see the request made, but it is something that we are working on. So this is in the requirements pipeline. Okay, so as for the next one, do I understand correctly that the CPS is only for electronic certificates? So the process remains unchanged if we need original or hard copies?
I can take that one. So the EMA does only issue electronic certificates since 2020, so this is not new. We do not issue hard copies of CPPs, and we haven't for the last almost 5 years now. So the system is only for centralized procedure, is only from the EMA, and only for electronic certificates.
Okay, thank you. So there have been certain invoices that have not been paid for more than 30 days, but they do not result as cancelled. Don't know, Paolo, if you want to add anything to this.
Yes, as I said, so after 30 days, there is an automatic cancellation of the invoice. If that happens on day 30, precisely the answer is no, because we do have to take into account that there are weekends, and we just want to be sure that we have all the receipts received and allocated, for example, on day 30. And then therefore, inevitably, the invoice has been scheduled to be cancelled after we have received and we have completed the allocation of the receipts. 40 days is probably a little bit too much. We would really need to look into those cases, but I would say within 30 and 36 days that it is possible. So the system follows a calendar, taking into account, as you know, if we receive a payment on Friday afternoon, that is detected only on Monday. If we would cancel the invoice at day 30, we will not capture that payment, which otherwise would have to be captured because it's been done rightly so in time. Yeah. So this is really the little bit of a delay that it's not really a delay, but it's a system days that we have set up to avoid specifically to cancel it too early, really not to intentionally delay the cancellation. But again, 40 days looks a bit nearing 40 days a lot. So we would have to see this case specifically. So maybe the company concerned can come forward to us to accounts receivable, but there is not an ongoing issue. This is the way the system has been set up, to avoid too early cancellation before we complete the allocation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Paola.
No problems.
Okay, so the next question I think I can handle. So again, this is of course noted as a requirement and nice to have, let's say, but no, at the moment it's not possible to save progress and then resume the submission. So, okay, so again, same question, noted, but we don't have a timeline for that at the moment. Okay, so there's a question regarding refunds of certificates not issued. I'm not sure, Virginia, if you know what case this would be, because I guess we work all of the requests that we receive, right? So
all certificates are always issued. If the urgents are not issued within 2 days, is when there is a process to align the fee with a standard one. But all certificates are always issued unless the company, wants to cancel or withdraw. But the norm is that you pay for the certificate, we issue the certificate.
Understood, thank you. Okay, so the next one, yes, indeed, this is what the prepayment means. So it means that, as Virginia, but also Paola said, the process is slightly different now. So EMA starts working on the certificate after confirmation from finance that payment has been received is issued to the certificates processing team. So that's correct. So could you sort the country list alphabetically? Okay, this is for the CPS. Again, we will note all of these requests for improvement. Now moving on to the next one. So the estimated timelines. I think, Virginia, maybe you can confirm again the estimated timelines. So we have somebody that has an order pending, although let's see if that's...
That is strange because right now we are processing around between 10 and 15 days. So if it's pending from February 10th, probably there was also an issue with the payments. So they need to confirm if they have received the confirmation that the payment has been confirmed. Or there is an issue because we are not that delayed. So I don't know the specifics. Maybe it's something that they can write to us to state exactly which number it is, and we can investigate, because certainly we're not so delayed.
Okay, so yeah, please reach out by email so that we can have more information and investigate. Okay, perfect, thank you. So can we have a print PDF option of the application? Again, this is something that we are working on, although there's no current timeline for this to be available, but it is a requirement that it's in progress to be applied. So can we cancel the request once after the invoice is created? Yes, exactly. So this is okay, you will get reminders, right, Paola? Because these
Yes.
are automatic.
Yeah.
You can choose to not pay the invoice, and then after the 36, let's say, days, this will be canceled, and that's it.
Between 30 and 36 at the latest. Yes, exactly. The system will take care of it, and to cancel a request, the only way is to ignore the invoice, not pay it, and that then the system will take care of it. The reminder is something, as Valeria said, that goes out automatically. You just ignore that as well. Yeah, so
maybe it's worth
Alina,
to,
please.
yes, maybe it's worth to say that it's basically a pre-reminder, telling that the deadline for the invoice is approaching, so that you are aware that in 10 days actually the invoice will basically get into the cancellation mode. This is basically, as Paula said, standard facility just to keep you updated.
Thanks both. Okay, so next question. It's not possible to delete attachments. So we don't have any timeline for this, but again, it's a requirement that we can put in the backlog. So thanks for sending the suggestion. So how long is a certificate held while awaiting confirmation after questions? Virginia, maybe?
Well, there is no formal timeline. Normally we keep sending, we put it on hold, waiting responses, and we send reminders every now and again. Of course, when it's been, several months, at some point we close it. But I think that now we are closing the ones that were submitted last year, something like that. So there is no formal timeline, but something needs to be kind of within a reasonable time frame. So if it's been 3 months, probably we will consider that the company is no longer interested. But I would appreciate if we receive a response if they are not interested to say that, so we don't have the cases open for so long.
Of course. Okay. So how do we get the issued certificates? Are these sent by email or is there a link?
You will be receiving the certificates via email as before.
Okay, so nothing changed compared to the previous process. So in the box, your message special characters are not accepted. Okay, so again, this is another requirement that we can keep in consideration, but no timeline for this yet. If we made a mistake in the certificate and EMA contacted the requesting company or the MAH, how can it be amended?
If it's us the request the change, then we can amend it directly. We just need confirmation of the correct information. So in some cases we can, other cases we cannot. But the submission cannot be amended from the applicant side.
Okay. So this is a similar question, right? So how can somebody ask for a correction of, actually issued CPP? So that's...
If the CPP it's been issued, then they need to write to us directly.
Okay. So in the certificates mailbox that you can find also on the website.
Yeah, we will correct it if the mistake has been from our side. Of course, if the submission contained the mistake, then they will need to just submit another one with the correct information. But if the mistake was from our side, then of course we will issue a correction.
Absolutely. Okay. So if the marketing authorization holder was changed recently and the CPP applying person was not aware of it, I suppose these two are linked. So is it possible to get refunds when the change in MAH was not known?
The MAH is the one that should inform the requesting company because we issue certificates to the MAH. The fact that there is an intermediary person, that is up to the MAH how they want to organize themselves. So of course, if they are no longer the MAH for that product, well, they cannot request certificates for that product. So that is, internal communication between the MAH and the requesting company.
Of course, so EMA cannot issue refunds in that case because the certificate was issued by us. Okay, so this is the same. So we have the last two questions and then we have to close, but actually there's nothing in the queue. So in case of pharmaceutical forms, special characters, these are not allowed. It is incorrect because of the dash, and so can it be corrected? I guess this is what you were saying, Virginia, right? So they should write to the certificates mailbox.
Something like that, probably we will correct it, but yes, they should write. We normally take the pharmaceutical form in accordance to the SMPC, the same way as expressing the SMPC.
Okay.
But yes, something like that can be discussed.
Absolutely. Perfect. So for our last question, so will it be possible to enter the addresses once and then the system automatically duplicating them when entering the same company again? Okay, so again, these are requirements and this is something that we are looking into. We unfortunately don't have timelines for such improvements, but of course it has been requested a few times and we noted this. So thanks for sending this through. We will of course, take it into account. So with this, I will close the session. Thank you very much for being with us today, and we hope you found it helpful.